Establishment of the Central Vigilance Commission, CVC. The Central Vigilance Commission, commonly referred to as the CVC, serves as the key organization focused on preventing corruption in the Indian central government. It was founded in 1964 based on a resolution from the central government, following recommendations from the Santhanam Committee that was set up to tackle corruption between 1962 and 1964. Initially, the CVC was not recognized as either a constitutional or a statutory body, it was merely an executive agency. However, its status changed when the Central Vigilance Commission Act was passed in 2003, officially establishing the CVC as a statutory body. This means it is now recognized by law and has specific powers outlined by that legislation. The CVC plays a critical role in fighting corruption by being the designated entity to handle complaints or disclosures regarding allegations of corruption or misuse of office. This is part of the Public Interest Disclosure and Protection of Informers Resolution, PDP, issued in 2004, which is often referred to as the Whistleblowers Resolution. This resolution allows citizens, known as whistleblowers, to report corruption without fear of retribution. The CVC has a unique place in the government as it operates independently of any executive authority, meaning it can conduct its work without interference. It is responsible for overseeing all vigilance activities within the central government and advising various authorities on how to better plan, execute, review, and improve their efforts against corruption. The powers and functions of the CVC are established under various articles and provisions of Indian law, particularly the CVC Act of 2003. Section 8 of this Act describes the powers of the CVC, outlining its authority to initiate inquiries into allegations of corruption and misconduct. Furthermore, it provides guidance to other governmental agencies, ensuring consistent and effective monitoring of corruption-related issues across all sectors of the central government. In addition to its investigative role, the CVC is also tasked with promoting integrity and transparency in the functioning of public servants and governmental bodies. It strives to create an environment where corruption is actively fought against and discouraged, ultimately fostering a governmental framework rooted in public accountability. In conclusion, the Central Vigilance Commission stands as a pivotal institution in India's efforts to combat corruption in the central government. Its establishment, evolution into a statutory body, and continued operation as an independent and powerful agency symbolize India's commitment to ensuring transparency, integrity, and accountability in public administration. Composition of the Central Vigilance Commission, CVC. The Central Vigilance Commission, CVC, is an important body in India responsible for tackling corruption in the government. It's made up of several members, including a Central Vigilance Commissioner who serves as the chairperson and up to 2 Vigilance Commissioners. These officials are appointed by the President of India through an official document that is signed and sealed. The appointment happens based on the recommendation of a 3-member committee consisting of the Prime Minister, the Union Minister for Home Affairs, and the Leader of the Opposition in the Lok Sabha. The members of the CVC serve a fixed term of 4 years, or they can continue until they turn 65 years old, whichever comes first. After their term ends, they cannot take up any job in the central or state government. This condition helps maintain the integrity and independence of the position. The President of India has the power to dismiss the Central Vigilance Commissioner or any Vigilance Commissioner under certain situations. These include if a commissioner is declared bankrupt, convicted of a crime that questions their moral integrity, engages in outside paid work during their term, is deemed unfit to perform their duties due to mental or physical limitations, or if they have financial interests that could conflict with their official duties. Moreover, a commissioner can also be removed for proven misconduct or incapacity, but in this case, the President must seek an inquiry from the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court finds sufficient grounds for removal and recommends it, then the President can go ahead with the dismissal. A commissioner is considered guilty of misconduct if they are involved in any contract or agreement with the central government or if they benefit from such contracts in a manner that goes beyond their rightful role as a member of an incorporated company. In terms of compensation, the salary and allowances for the Central Vigilance Commissioner are on par with the chairman of the Union Public Service Commission, UPSC, and the Vigilance Commissioners receive the same pay as UPSC members. Importantly, the terms of service cannot be altered to the disadvantage of the commissioners after they have been appointed, ensuring that their rights and benefits remain protected. Related constitutional articles and laws. The functioning of the Central Vigilance Commission is backed by the Central Vigilance Commission Act, 2003. This act lays down the powers and responsibilities of the CVC and sets the framework within which it operates. Additionally, Article 317 of the Indian Constitution deals with the appointment and removal of members of the Public Service Commission, which is relevant when discussing the areas of governance that CVC oversees. The integrity of this commission plays a crucial role in maintaining public trust and protecting government integrity by promoting transparency and accountability. Overall, the CVC serves as a watchdog against corruption in the Indian public sector and is pivotal in ensuring that accountability is upheld in governance. Its structure, appointment process, and removal conditions are designed to promote integrity and prevent misuse of power, which are essential in a democratic society. Organization of the Central Vigilance Commission, CVC. The Central Vigilance Commission, CVC, is a crucial body in India that aims to promote integrity and prevent corruption in the public sector. To fulfill its responsibilities effectively, the CVC is structured with several components, including its secretariat, the Chief Technical Examiners Wing, CTE, and a team of commissioners for departmental inquiries, CDIs. Each of these parts plays a distinct role in ensuring that government processes remain transparent and accountable. The Secretariat is the backbone of the CVC. It is staffed by a diverse group of officials, including a secretary, joint secretaries, deputy secretaries, under-secretaries, and various other office staff. This team is essential for the day-to-day operations of the CVC, providing administrative support and facilitating the Commission's various functions. The effectiveness of the Secretariat is crucial for maintaining the efficiency of the entire organization. The Chief Technical Examiners Wing, CTE, serves as the technical arm of the CVC. It is made up of chief engineers, who are referred to as Chief Technical Examiners, along with other engineering personnel. The primary duties of this wing include conducting technical audits of construction projects undertaken by government organizations to ensure they comply with necessary standards and laws. They investigate specific complaints regarding construction works to find out if there have been any irregularities or corruption. Moreover, they offer assistance to the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, in cases that involve technical aspects or property evaluations in places like Delhi. They also provide advice to the CVC and Chief Vigilance Officers on issues related to technical vigilance, enhancing the overall oversight on construction-related projects. Lastly, the Commissioners for Departmental Inquiries, CDIs, play a vital role in investigating complaints against public servants. They act as inquiry officers tasked with conducting oral inquiries during departmental proceedings. This means that when there are allegations of misconduct against a public servant, the CDIs will gather evidence, hear testimonies, and ensure that a fair process is followed, allowing for transparency and justice within the public sector. In terms of governance, the CVC is guided by Article 37 of the Constitution of India, which emphasizes the importance of maintaining a clean and accountable administration. The CVC's establishment and functions are primarily governed by the Central Vigilance Commission Act of 2003, which details its responsibilities and powers. Overall, the structure of the Central Vigilance Commission, with its Secretariat, Technical Examiners Wing, and Commissioners for Departmental Inquiries, creates a robust framework for vigilance and accountability in India. By working together, these components help to uphold the integrity of public services and ensure that government systems function without corruption. Functions of the Central Vigilance Commission, CVC. The Central Vigilance Commission, CVC, is an important body in India, dedicated to making sure that government officials are honest and ethical. The CVC has several key responsibilities, especially in relation to corruption and misconduct in public services. One of the main functions of the CVC is to investigate complaints against public servants, particularly those who work for the central government. If someone reports that a government employee has committed a crime under the Prevention of Corruption Act, 1988, the CVC can either conduct the investigation itself or ensure that another agency carries out the inquiry. This act is crucial as it aims to prevent corruption in government services and provide a framework for dealing with corruption. Another major function involves overseeing investigations related to certain high-ranking officials. This includes members of the All India services like the Indian Administrative Service, IS, and Indian Police Service, IPS, as well as Group A officers of the central government. The CVC is responsible for looking into complaints against these officials if they are accused of corruption. The CVC also plays a supervisory role over the Delhi Special Police Establishment, commonly known as the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI. This includes providing guidelines for investigations related to offences under the Prevention of Corruption Act. The CVC has the authority to direct the CBI on how to handle specific cases of corruption and to monitor the progress of investigations. This ensures that the inquiry processes are thorough and unbiased. In addition to these roles, the CVC is involved with the progress of applications that are pending for permission to prosecute officials under the Prevention of Corruption Act. This aspect is significant because it helps to expedite legal actions against corrupt practices. The CVC also advises the central government regarding matters related to corruption within public services, reinforcing its role as a key advisory body. Moreover, the CVC is in charge of the vigilance administration in various ministries of the central government, overseeing how complaints and issues are managed within these departments. Furthermore, the central government must consult the CVC when it formulates rules and guidelines regarding the vigilance and disciplinary actions of central services and All India services members. This ensures that the systems in place for handling misconduct are robust and effective. Another important function of the CVC is related to protecting whistleblowers. Under the Public Interest Disclosure and Protection of Informers Resolution, the CVC can investigate complaints made by individuals who expose wrongdoing in the government. This promotes transparency and encourages citizens to report corruption without fear of retribution. The CVC operates under various constitutional articles and laws, primarily under Article 310 of the Indian Constitution, which discusses the conditions of service for public servants, and the Prevention of Corruption Act, 1988, which defines corruption offences and establishes the legal framework for dealing with corruption in India. By performing its functions effectively, the CVC helps to ensure accountability and integrity in the public sector, which is vital for maintaining trust in government institutions. Jurisdiction of the Central Vigilance Commission, CVC. The Central Vigilance Commission, CVC, in India has a specific scope regarding who it can investigate and oversee. This means that certain government officials and employees are under its authority. Understanding its jurisdiction can help in realizing how accountability and transparency are maintained in Indian governance. The CVC's jurisdiction primarily extends to the following categories of officials. Firstly, it includes all members of the All India Services, AIS. These are the elite services that deal with the central government's business and come under the union's administration. All IS, Indian Administrative Service, IPS, Indian Police Service, and IFS, Indian Foreign Service, officers are part of this category and have a significant impact on public administration throughout the country. Secondly, the CVC also has oversight over Group A officers within the central government. Group A officers are generally high-ranking officials who occupy significant positions and hence their conduct is crucial for fair governance. Further, the CVC's reach extends to senior officials in public sector banks. This includes officers who hold the rank of Scale V and above. Public sector banks are crucial to India's banking system and their integrity is vital for economic stability. In addition, it also covers officers in Grade D and above in financial institutions like the Reserve Bank of India, NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, and SIDBI, Small Industries Development Bank of India. These institutions play a major role in India's financial matters, and the CVC ensures that their officials act with integrity. Moreover, the CVC supervises chief executives and executives on the board, along with other officers of E8 and above in Schedule A and B public sector undertakings. Similarly, it applies to chief executives and executives in Schedule C and D public sector undertakings who are at the E7 level or above. These positions involve significant responsibilities, and the oversight by the CVC is essential to uphold accountability in large public enterprises. In the insurance sector, the CVC includes senior divisional managers and above in the Life Insurance Corporation, LIC, and managers and above in general insurance companies. Additionally, the CVC's jurisdiction also extends to officers earning a salary of 8,700 rupees and above, pre-revised, on the central government's dearness allowance pattern. This includes individuals working in societies and local authorities that are managed or owned by the central government. Monitoring these individuals helps to ensure that public services are delivered fairly and without corruption. The need for such a broad jurisdiction stems from the Indian Constitution, particularly Articles 310 and 311, which deal with the service of the Union and the protection of civil servants against arbitrary dismissal. Furthermore, the CVC operates under the provisions set out in the Central Vigilance Commission Act, 2003, which was established to address bureaucratic corruption and promote transparency within the public sector. By covering such a wide range of officials and institutions, the CVC plays a crucial role in promoting ethical governance and ensuring that public trust is maintained in governmental functions across India. The Central Vigilance Commission, CVC, operates out of its headquarters in New Delhi, India. It plays a crucial role in overseeing issues related to vigilance and preventing corruption within the central government. As an organization, the CVC has the authority to establish its own rules and procedures for conducting its work, which is important for its independence and effectiveness in addressing corruption. The CVC has the same powers as a civil court, which gives it the ability to summon evidence, review documents, and call for witnesses as needed in its investigations. This judicial-like authority allows the CVC to conduct thorough and fair assessments of cases related to misconduct or corruption. During its operations, the CVC can ask for reports or information from central government bodies or their officials to better understand the situation and supervise their activities regarding vigilance and anti-corruption efforts. When the CVC refers a case to another agency for inquiry, it reviews the findings of that inquiry once it's completed. Based on the results, the CVC makes recommendations to the central government on how to proceed with the case. While the government is expected to consider the CVC's advice seriously, it is not legally obliged to follow it. If the central government decides not to take the CVC's advice, it must provide a written explanation outlining the reasons for this choice. Furthermore, the CVC is required to prepare an annual report that details its activities and effectiveness. This report is submitted to the President of India, who then presents it to both houses of Parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. This process ensures that the activities of the CVC are subject to scrutiny by elected representatives, promoting transparency and accountability. The powers and functions of the CVC are grounded in various legal provisions, primarily the Central Vigilance Commission Act of 2003. Article 2 of this Act defines the composition and powers of the CVC, while Article 8 outlines the procedure for the conduct of inquiries and investigations. The establishment of the CVC reflects India's commitment to combat corruption and promote integrity within public service, aligning with Article 14 of the Indian Constitution, which guarantees equality before the law and equal protection of the laws to all individuals. In conclusion, the CVC plays a vital role in maintaining accountability and integrity in the central government. Its ability to advise and oversee government actions makes it a key player in the fight against corruption, ensuring that there are checks in place to uphold the principles of fairness and justice in public service. Whistleblowers Protection Act, 2014. The Whistleblowers Protection Act, enacted in 2014, mainly aims to provide safety and security for individuals who expose corruption and wrongdoing in government functions. Here's a simplified explanation of its main features and how it works. First and foremost, the Act ensures that whistleblowers, the individuals who report corruption or illegal activities by government officials, can do so without the fear of losing their jobs or facing any form of retaliation. This protection is significant as it encourages more people to come forward with information about misconduct without worrying about harmful consequences. Under this Act, anyone who wants to report corruption can submit a public interest disclosure to a competent authority, which at present is the Central Vigilance Commission, CVC. This means that if you have proof of wrongdoing, you can share it with this organization that supervises integrity in government departments. However, the government has the power to appoint other bodies for receiving such complaints if they deem fit. Importantly, while the Act encourages whistleblowing, it also has strict rules against false claims. If someone makes a complaint that is found to be untrue or frivolous, they can face serious penalties, including a prison sentence of up to 2 years or a hefty fine of up to 30,000 rupees. This is meant to ensure that only genuine reports of corruption are made. The Act emphasizes that any disclosure must be made in good faith, which means the person should genuinely believe that the information they provide is true. In making such a disclosure, the whistleblower must present a declaration stating that they reasonably believe the information is accurate. Disclosures can be submitted in writing or via email, and they should include all necessary details and any documents that support the claim made. It is crucial to note that the identity of the complainant must be included in the disclosure. If the identity of the whistleblower or the public servant involved is inaccurate or missing, the complaint will not be acted upon. This mechanism helps in ensuring accountability and maintains the integrity of the reporting process. However, the Whistleblowers Protection Act does not extend its protections to members of the Special Protection Group, which is a specialized unit responsible for protecting high-risk individuals like the Prime Minister and other important leaders. In India, the right to information and the fight against corruption are deeply rooted in various constitutional provisions, including Article 19, which ensures the right to freedom of speech, and Article 21, which guarantees the right to life and personal liberty. The Whistleblowers Protection Act complements these articles by safeguarding those who take the brave step to expose wrongdoing for the greater good. Overall, The Whistleblowers Protection Act of 2014 is an important law that supports transparency and accountability in government services, and it plays a vital role in the fight against corruption in India.